Hello, everybody. My name is MG Govia. I'm the Senior Education and Outreach Liaison for OKIE811, and we are so happy to have you joining us for our second session of today's Virtual Safety Day. So with that, our next session is going to be about the Oklahoma Corporation Commission and their damage prevention team. And Randy Snyder will be coming on and going over that information with us. So Randy, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the coverage of the Oklahoma Damage Prevention Program, of how we enforce the one call on excavators. So my name is Randy Snyder. I'm with the Oklahoma Corporation Commission. I'm the Damage Prevention Program Manager. All right. We also have, I have 6 inspectors that work out throughout the state. Their name is Hunter Maynard, Jason Stoner, and Ricky Metcalf. Don Thaxton just retired from our group. And then they take care of the west side of the state. And then we have Wayne Wittenberg and Chris Bruce. They take care of the eastern side of the state. So we cover a lot of area. And so we try to get to as many excavation damages as we can when they get called in. This is under the Corporation Commission under the Oklahoma Damage Prevention Act. This is what gives us the authority to go after the excavators that are digging in and around our natural gas pipelines and our hazardous liquid pipelines. And so we can only enforce the underground damage on any excavators that are digging around those pipelines, okay? We don't enforce anything on water lines, sewer lines, electric, cable, or anything of that nature. We took enforcement back in 2014, and we tried to do it with our regular inspectors while they were doing their other jobs of inspecting gas pipelines. And so we really didn't get to a lot of the damages. And so PHMSA started pushing the states to up their damage prevention program. And so in 2022, we started this program under the Corporation Commission. And so as you can see in 20 and in 21, our damages were increasing quite a bit. In 22, we hit a peak of 2,300 damages for the year. And so we started our program, hired our inspectors, and we got them to start going out and investigating the damages. So the other thing is, if you have any questions or anything, just raise your hands. I'll try to get to them, or if MG sees them, we can stop and ask the questions and try to answer them while we're here, okay? So in 23 and in 24, our damages have started coming down a little bit. I would like to see those come down a lot more. So hopefully with what we are doing and with our training and with OKIE one calls training, that we're getting that message out there to the excavators and to the operators that hopefully our damages, will start to come down. So hopefully, like I said, we can get that coming down a little bit more than what we have in the last couple of years, okay? This is our locates, our damages on percentages of different practices for the excavators. The blue is no locates. That's still our number one damage by excavators, is not having a locate called in. And so that's one of those things that kind of shocks us at the Corporation Commission as much advertisement as we see and as much information that the operators get out to the excavators, that we're still having excavators not make one calls. Okay. The green is the operators. The operators are still causing about 25% of our damage for not locating properly, not locating on time, or they have inaccurate maps, and so they cannot locate everything that's on the ticket. So we are still having them to, cause 25% of our damages still. We did notice last year in 24 that they have came down to about 20%. So hopefully they are learning and getting better at locating their facilities better and getting there on time, and then, correcting their maps so that their locators can locate everything on the ticket. So there's a couple of new things that came into the watch and protect. There's some new definitions that came effective in 2024. Watch and protect was probably the biggest new definition that we had. And what that is, it means that an operator or is it designated representative is present to observe the excavation if you're digging within 10 foot of their facilities. Okay, so they have to put that in the positive response that they want to do a watch and protect. Another definition is pre-excavation meetings. So the excavator can put in a notice to any of the underground facilities that they want to have a pre-meeting with all of the underground facilities. Okay. The other one is large projects. So those are excavation projects that involve, if they have exceed the distances that's in the one call law, or if they estimate duration of 90 days or more on that project. Okay, you can get with those, the excavators can get with the operators and make sure that everything is being looked at.
Hey, Randy.
Okay. Yes.
We do have a question that was submitted to you. And I apologize for being one slide too late, but when it comes to
we can go back.
You don't have to go back. It's just about your staff. Is the OCC planning on hiring even more inspectors?
Yes, we are in the process right now of trying to hire 2 more inspectors. We are trying to get down into the southern part of the state, so we'll have one for the southeast and one for the southwest. And so that way they can cover those areas with the operators down in those areas. So we should be going out before too long to look at hiring those inspectors. So, okay. Any other questions on that?
Nothing so far.
Okay. All right. Once an operator gets a notice, that operator has 48 hours or the time and date that is on the work ticket. Okay. They have to come out and locate their facilities within that time. If there's an agreement made between the operator and the excavator to not make it on that time, then we need to make sure that those agreements are in writing so that when our inspectors come out to look at that damage, we can find out if they located on time or if there was some kind of agreement. We can take that on an email. We can take it on a text. We'll look at your phone logs, just something showing that you did make a commitment with that excavator and operator so that we can have that documentation. Okay. Otherwise, that locator has got to be there within that 48 hours or the date and time of that ticket. Okay. In the positive response on a watch and protect, every excavator has to look at the positive response on those tickets. If you see that watch and protect, then you cannot dig within 10 foot of the operator's facilities. Okay. They have to be there. That watch and protect, that operator should give you a name and a phone number for you to call that operator so that they can make an agreement of scheduling time to where they can be out there to watch you dig around their facilities. Okay. If there's not an agreement made on a specific time, then the time goes back to the ticket date and time. Okay. So if your work date ticket starts at 8 o'clock on a certain date and the agreement is not made, then they have to be there by 8 o'clock if they want to enforce that watch and protect. Okay. If they're not there at that time, then the excavator has every right to start digging if everything has been marked. Okay. So it's important that the excavator call that number, get a hold of that person, make sure that there's an agreement made on the time. That's another thing that needs to be in writing also. So we will be looking for that documentation of what was agreed upon between that operator and that excavator to make sure that, you know, both sides are following that. Okay. So, just make sure that you have that documentation if our inspectors ask for that information. And what you're going to see on the ticket, I don't know if you can see that very well, but on your tickets, you have the positive response from every underground facility in your area on your ticket. And you should be seeing some kind of response from that operator, either telling you what they have located or if it's cleared. So you should see some kind of, you know, positive response in that. And in the middle of that ticket, if you'll see, there is a watch and protect on like ONG gas transmission. So there they give you a name and a telephone number. So we would look at that ticket if there's a damage or if our guys just show up on a job site, they're going to want to see that information that you contacted that pipeline operator. Okay. And so like I said, the Underground Damage Prevention Act says that the excavator must check for positive response. Okay. So you need to make sure that you're going into the portal or look at your tickets to find out if every underground facility has been located. If that hasn't been located and you don't see anything in the positive response, like on this ticket at the very top, you see it's in red. That lets us know that that underground facility has not been located. So you would need to reach out back to the one call center and put in a second notice. Okay. So that that facility can get marked. Okay. So those are the things that we will be looking at on your tickets when our inspectors come out also. If you see for a gas pipeline or a liquid pipeline, there's a part in the provision of the one call that says that an operator cannot dig, and I think I've got a slide on it here in just a minute, that says that you cannot dig if you continue if you know that there's a hydrocarbon and it's unmarked. So if you see on your ticket that that pipeline company is not marked, you cannot start digging even though your time is up. You need to make sure that you're putting in that second response. Okay. So also under our chapter 20 of our Corporation Commission rules, we also have a positive notification that the operator has got to get with that excavator and let them know the size and the material of that facility, of the underground facility. So we can take that, we'll look at that either on the positive response. If the operator puts something in that positive response that they located, 2-inch line, plastic line, 3/4 inch, coated steel, or they can either put it on the ground to where the excavator at that job site can see that, know what they're looking for to make sure that they find the proper line. The reason why we put that in there, we run across this quite a bit, that the excavator is trying to do their due diligence, trying to locate that facility. And so they hand dig or they hydrovac, and they find a pipeline, that may be a 2-inch steel or a 3/4 inch line. And so they think they have found the line that they're looking for. So they start using their equipment, and guess what? They end up right below that or right next to that line that they have uncovered is the live line, and they end up damaging that facility. So we want the operator to be able to let the excavator know exactly what they're looking for. Okay. So you should either see it in the positive response, or you should be able to see it on the ground of what you're looking for. And here's the slide I was talking about, that the Underground Damage Prevention Act states that if an excavator has knowledge that there's an unmarked hydrocarbon or a hazardous liquid line, they cannot dig. They cannot proceed, even though their ticket time allows them. They cannot dig anywhere on that ticket site. Okay. That's where you have to put that second notice in. Okay. So you need to make sure that if you see that you have a pipeline or a hazardous liquid line, operator on your ticket, and you don't see any marks on the ground and they have not cleared that ticket, you definitely need to be reaching back out to the one call and putting in that second notice. In the Underground Damage Prevention Act, this is where the use of mechanized equipment. It states that you cannot use mechanized equipment. That's backhoes, trackhoes, anything that's mechanical. We look at hydrovac. We know it's a mechanical, but we also know that the industry allows hydrovacking as a safe and soft digging practice. So we allow hydrovacking to be used. Okay. But you cannot use mechanized equipment directly over the marks or within the 2 foot either side of those marks until you know the precise location. So here's what we're kind of talking about on the safety zone. So if I have a pipeline that is a 4-inch pipeline, I have 2 foot on the outside of that. So my tolerance zone is going to be, 4'4", because I've got my 2 foot, 2 inches on each side of my marks for my pipe. And then I have 24 inches either side of that mark. So this is another reason why we have the positive response, so that the operators can mark and know what facilities they're looking for, is that if I have a 36-inch pipeline and my mark is only a couple of inches being marked, my tolerance zone, my safety zone, is a lot further than 2 foot on either side of that mark, because now I've got my pipeline goes to the outlet outside diameter. So now my has gone out to, almost 5 foot, 6 foot, so it's very important that you know what size, so that you can make sure you get your safety zone correct. Okay. So within that 2 foot either side, we're going to want the excavators to be using some kind of hand digging with shovels, or a hydrovac is what we consider to be using, soft digging practices. So those are what we're going to expect the excavator to be using when they find that precise location. Now, once you find that precise location, then yes, you can start using your mechanized equipment to dig up around those facilities. So those are things that we write quite a few violations on excavators for not finding a precise location before they use mechanized equipment. That's probably one of our biggest violations that we write for excavators. Okay. The other thing that we have in the one call law is that if the precise location cannot be found, if an excavator cannot find that pipeline within that tolerance zone, they have to call the operator to come out and help them locate that facility. So just because you dig down to the depth that you're going to be putting in your service, or you're digging, you cannot, and you didn't find anything, you cannot just continue digging in that area. You have to call that operator to come out and help find that facility. Okay. We have written a few violations on excavators that have done that. This is in the law, and it states that, like I said, you cannot continue digging until that operator has helped you find that precise location. Okay. So the other thing that we also have a complaint form in our OCC web page that you, as an excavator, you can, if you are having problems with locators, operators, if they're not getting there on time, if they're having problems locating stuff, you can reach out to the website and fill out this form. We will get all the information, and we will give this to one of our inspectors to come out and look at that complaint. Okay. The operator also can get on there and complain about a complaint about an excavator if they're having problems with excavators. Our operators use this quite a bit. If they find something that they're having a problem with an excavator, they fill out this form. It gets sent to us. Like I said, we send this to our inspectors, and they will go out and investigate that complaint and get back with either that excavator, tell them what they're doing wrong in the law. And so this is a tool that you can use to help get things accomplished. Our question is, and our deal is, if we don't know there's any problems, if we don't know about them, we can't help. So we try to help. The more that we can get this done with this, the more maybe damages maybe we can get to where we don't have to have all the damages. And there's the web page you can go to in the email is listed there. You can go to there and it'll bring up a form where you can fill that out. So I think we're getting pretty close. This is a list of all of our damages. Our operators throughout the state have to send in semi-annual reports of all the damages that occur on their facilities. And so we kind of do it from January to June and then July through December. And so we go in there and we calculate and look at the data and collect all the data. This last year for 24, we had 1,975 damages occur on our pipelines last year. And so if you'll look at that, like I said, the number one damage is no locate tickets. So we're hoping that through our process with the training that we're doing with the one call, hopefully we can get that information out there to let everybody know that you need to be making one calls if you're going to dig. Okay. Then our next damage that we have on for excavators is not potholing. That's our other violation that we write quite a bit, is that the excavator is not using the hand tool soft digging practices to find the precise location of that facility before they're using their mechanized equipment. And then just some of the other damages, other practices that kind of go into that. The stuff in the red is the operator errors. So I think we had 409 operator errors last year. So hopefully, like I said, we're getting those numbers down. They came down this last year compared to what they have in the last couple of years. So, but we're having their number one problem is not marking everything on the ticket. They may miss a service line or they may miss something that wasn't located on their maps. So hopefully we're getting that to where operators are getting better at locating all the facilities within that one call ticket area. We do two types of investigations. We have, like I said, all the damages operators have to turn in. So out of that 1,975 damages, we went to 750 of them, investigated those. Out of those 750, we wrote 562 violations to excavators and operators. The other inspections that our inspectors do is that they drive around every day looking for excavation. So they may drive around, Oklahoma City area, Tulsa. They get out into the rural areas. And so if they see somebody that is doing any kind of excavation, they stop in on that job site. They ask those excavators for their one call tickets. They look for, if you have the number, make sure you have your ticket. They look to make sure you're digging within the job site that you're supposed to be doing, making sure at the dates, making sure that you're not digging, early, making sure you're digging late without a ticket. So those are things that they're going to be looking for whenever they come to your job site. Okay. Out of the excavators, out of all those violations, we wrote 447 violations to the excavators. So that that they're the number one stakeholder of our damages that cause damage. And so, like I said, we wrote 447 violations to them. The operators, we wrote 163 violations to operators for not locating properly, not locating on time, that type of stuff, inaccurate maps. We also, on our damages, we went and did on 188 investigations, we did no violations. We felt that the excavator was doing everything properly. The operator located all their stuff, that the damage just happened, or it was damaged by hand tools, or used by, hydrovac, that they might have knocked some coating off. So we feel that when you do those types of damages, that we're not going to cite that excavator or that operator, because if we're going to cite you for hand tools damages, you're going to go back to using mechanized equipment, and we would rather you try to use that hand tools or that hydrovac to find that precise location. Okay. So I think that's about all I got. I know we've probably done a little bit early.
You're doing great, Randy. And if you want to throw on your camera, you can. We can answer a few questions that are being tossed our way. Your cohort, Hunter, has a really good question. What happens if the watch and protect employee doesn't show up at their agreed upon time?
Okay. If that operator does not show up on that time that they agreed to, then the excavator has every right to start digging. As I said, as long as the facilities are marked. Okay. Because that operator did not end up meeting their obligation of that agreement. So that excavator has every right to start digging. Okay. And so same thing goes. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to throw in this caveat. The lines will be marked through the excavation or the locate request. So we're not saying you have every right to dig if they don't show up for watch and protect and the lines aren't marked.
Yes.
If the lines are already marked and they've already probably responded in that respect, now watch and protect is a little separate. I know we said it that way. I just want to make sure we're clear.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as those lines are marked, then if they don't show up on time, you have every right to start digging. But it goes back to the same thing. If the excavator does not show up on that time, then they can get in trouble from the operator that they've met their obligation, but the excavator has not, and they may put in a complaint, and we would come out and talk to that excavator about meeting that obligation on that watch and protect. Okay. Any other questions on that?
I'll have a follow-up question. There's somebody else typing in a question now for us as well.
Okay.
With the watch and protect, I know this is very specific to oil and gas, and not everybody's going to run into it every single project. But I want to let the excavators who are on this webinar know that 90% of the time it is used. It's going to be used by companies like One Oak and Oklahoma Natural Gas, and those are obviously big companies throughout the state. We have to take those watch and protect positive responses seriously. That's huge within our state, huge risk that we take as excavators around those pipelines. So be looking for that positive response and do the right thing when it comes to that positive response. It's not just a suggestion. It's not just we'll help you know where our stuff is. It's because those are higher risk areas for not only the operator, but also for the excavator's safety. So I just wanted to emphasize that it's more than just a rule.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Most of those pipelines, like MG said, are going to be your big transmission lines. They're going to have a whole lot higher pressure, and so the operators definitely want to be there to make sure that, you dig safely around their pipelines. So make sure that you're looking at those positive response on those tickets. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Steve asked a question that's a little bit more A11 side than OCC side, so I'm going to field it, Randy. There's a question here about design survey requests and asking for maps. And what happens there, Steve, is with that design or survey request that comes into us, it goes out to the contacts that are on file for those member companies. And if that goes to a GIS team with the design survey request, you're probably going to get maps. If it goes to USIC or a third-party locating service, you're probably going to get markings. So if you have a design survey request and it's going to the locating service instead of their design team, you can let us know, because the members are responsible for letting us know who their design teams are. We have over 1,400, or I think we're over 1,600 members now, so can't promise that every single design team is on file with us. But if you are running into that and you're just like, I need maps, I don't need mapping or markings at all, email us and we can see if we can get a workaround or try to find those maps for you. Like I said, it just depends on who it gets dispatched out to. So hopefully that helps you out. And if not, if you want more information on that, shoot me an email. My email address is education@OKIE811.org, and it's also in our chat as well.
Yeah.
So the great question, Steve. It truly is. Another thing I want to point out, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. It is usually during our in-person safety days, OCC presents after OKIE811 does for our workshop. So today we did a little bit backwards. We wanted to give the early morning information share with OCC. I've mentioned in our chat, the OKIE811 workshop goes really hand in hand with this information, right? We wanted to make sure all the locate requests are sent out and trying to help with that. And then OCC is the enforcement. And we want to be in the same space as often as possible to show that this process is going to keep people safe and keep our infrastructure damage free. So that's our purpose by working together so much. So if you haven't been to one of our in-person safety days, I highly recommend it. Our next one's in Tulsa on August 13th. And it's on the same page as where you registered for this webinar. So again, if you can join us, it would be a great opportunity for you and be able to talk to us in person as well. So
yeah, and I would like to say, if you have any questions or anything, just reach out to the OCC, any of our inspectors. If you see them, if you have any questions, feel free to talk to any of us, because we're here to help as much as we do hinder. We would rather get this information out so that hopefully maybe we can get those damages down quite a bit.